for you to win a tax case, the very first and the essential thing that you require is documentation. So if you have incomplete records, you are at a risk of being demanded taxes that you did not even have. Just because you cannot table your finding, you cannot table your records, it's very dangerous. So for compliance purposes, for business planning, hello, karibuni sana. This is your cheerleader of dreams. Here we talk about simple practical ideas on how you can start, grow, and scale your successful business. I am Dr. Regina Kingori, CEO LWK Africa, and today we have a very interesting topic. We shall be talking about how to enhance your bookkeeping for your business. Bookkeeping is very important for your business. Otherwise, you cannot know how you're running your organization or your business if you don't have bookkeeping essentials. So most of you entrepreneurs, one of the things that is halting your growth is that you're not able to keep your books properly. And today I'm going to train you on how you can do it in a very simple and practical way, because you're going to monitor growth. And what is bookkeeping? It is a process of recording, organizing financial transactions for a business to track your income, expenses, assets, liabilities. So you're able to track all your transactions in the business, and it helps you in this. What is the importance of bookkeeping? And what do bookkeeping entails? It entails recording financial transactions. That is a key. And why are we recording financial transactions? So that we can monitor our business, we can monitor growth, we can be able to understand our customers, we can be able to understand who are our suppliers, we can be able to understand if we are making profits or losses. So that is the essence of bookkeeping. What is the importance, before we talk about simple ideas on how you can do bookkeeping? What are the importance of bookkeeping? Financial transparency. Most of you don't know if they are making profits or the cash flow, where they are going, or how the money is just moving up and down. You cannot be able to tell. So financial transparency, it helps you do proper decision making. Some of you cannot make decision on how you can even borrow. You can't make decision on how you can grow the organization because you don't have your records with you. So even for compliance purposes, we talk about tax compliance and other regulations. You cannot comply if you don't have records. And I always tell entrepreneurs, for you to win a tax case, the very first and the essential thing that you require is documentation. So if you have incomplete records, you are at a risk of being demanded taxes that you did not even have. Just because you cannot table your finding, you cannot table your records, it's very dangerous. So for compliance purposes, for business planning, so when you want to do a plan, like if you know that this month I made sales worth $1 million, these are my expenses, these are my purchases, these are my liabilities, you can be able to even do a business plan. This is where you can say, in the next 3 months, I would want to increase my sales. In the next 3 months, I would want to cut my expense on fuel because of this and this. And because you've been able to monitor that expense of fuel, you can even say, this expense of fuel, what if of transport, what if I buy a vehicle? You make such decisions. If this hiring cost, because I've been hiring costs for this much every month, if I get a loan and get a vehicle, I can be able to cut this expense by half. So you can be able to make such business planning. access to financing and investments. When you go to any investment bank or a banking or any financing, the very first thing they ask you is for your records. So if you don't have those records, they cannot, even if they lend you, they don't know, will you be able to repay? So how much profits are you making in a month? That if you get a loan that you're supposed to do a repayment of 50,000, you can be able to pay it on a monthly basis. The organization wants to see that. Audit facilitation. When I come to you as an auditor, I need to see records. I need to see profit and loss. I need to see a trial balance. I need to see source documents. These are receipts, they are invoices. I need to see them. Do you have an accounting software? Right now, running a business need automation. So what accounting software are you using? It is very important. Operational efficiency. You cannot talk about efficiency without having records. So when you want to know how efficient are you, how are your records? How can you be able, so that you can be able to know even where to automate, how to improve your processes? You need to see documents. You need to monitor everything. For instance, I give an example. If you're having machineries and you're having a fleet of vehicles, you need to have records. At what time did machine start operating? Those documentation, what are the raw materials put in that machine, what was the fuel, what is the electricity capacity, is it meeting the production capacity for the day, at what time did it break down, for what reason did it break down, when was the last time it was repaired. If you don't have this information, you find an organization, the machine is breaking down without even holding somebody responsible, because you cannot be able to monitor what is happening. Effective tax planning, I talked about compliance. When you have documents, you can be able to do compliance. And accurate business valuation. Some of you ask, how is my value for the business? You need to have documents. We need to see your assets. We need to see the liabilities. And when you talk about the balance sheet, valuation is on our balance sheet, is on the equity that was input in the company, the capital that we have, the loans that we do, the creditors and the debtors that are in the stock that you have, the assets. These are land and vehicles that the organization owns. So you need to have all that documentation. So how do we enhance, that is a core, how do we enhance bookkeeping for our organization, and how do we do it in a very simple way? So the very first thing, if you don't have an accounting software, that is where we start. Let's have a simple accounting software that is going to help you with bookkeeping. And as an organization, we have developed a very simple accounting software called My Accurate Books. We're gonna share the link down there, and you can be able to download it and use it. So the very first thing, have an accounting software that is able to do some of these simple tasks. The next thing, regularly review and reconcile accounts. So we're having accountants or cashiers or people in the organization that are doing this activity, especially when it comes to sales. We have people who are invoicing, people who are raising receipts. Do we have a data at the end of the day that shows how much was sold in a daily basis? So how much was collection on a daily basis? So how do we enhance our bookkeeping? Simple, practical ideas. I've said, let's have an accounting software. Number 2, regularly review and reconcile accounts. So at the end of the day, let's have our sales report. So how much was paid by M-Pesa? How much was paid cash? How was the money transferred to the bank account? Or was the money transferred to the petty cash account? So at the end of the day, we are having different reports. So that is a sales report. Did we do purchases? If we did a purchases, what is the report? What did we buy? Was it paid through a check? Or was it paid out of the cash that we had received during the day? Or what is happening. So we do a purchases report. Did we have a stock take that was done? There are organizations that does stocks on a daily basis. Did we have stocks? So most of our organization, we do accounting, but we don't do reconciliation, which is very important. So we're doing sales reconciliation, debtors reconciliation, even debtors, they're organization that you sell by a debt. So you're giving somebody 3 or 7 days or 30 days to pay. So did we do that reconciliation? Were the people who are supposed to pay today or this week, did they pay? And if they did not pay, what was the reason of not payment? So are we having those reports that the management is able to look at? So we are also having stock reconciliations. So how do we do stocks? Do we do physical stock? Do we have a software for inventory management? And if it is there, are we using it properly? So reconciliation is very, very important. And also reconciliation when it comes to the accounting system that we are using. Remember, during the day, there are a lot of activities that we are doing. We are raising invoices. Some are doing a credit note over the system. Some are asking for a pro forma invoice. Others are asking on a quotation. And some of our system are able to do this. But at the end of the day, did we do a reconciliation? Did we raise an invoice for a client and then the client said, I don't want the goods anymore? Did we raise a credit note? So let's have that reconciliation even over the system, that every single day our sales ledger, purchases ledger, expenses ledger, it's able to balance. And those organizations that you have incomplete records, that the accountant, when we are coming, now it's February, and give me actual balance for 2024. The accountants is saying, I've not balanced account. So, are they able to keep tabs with the bookkeeping on a monthly basis, that by the time the month closes, by 5th, they should be able to give you a management report for that month. So the accounts are already complete. So utilize accounting software efficiently. I've talked about that. This is not the time that we do manual documentation or Excel. We have very good accounting software that you can be able to use. Maintain organized records. When you go to an organization and you know they are growing, it is how they keep their records. So if you have supplier documents, supplier gave you source documents, let's have a file that is written Regina Enterprises, and file the invoices correctly. And the other supplier, depending on the nature of your business, there are organizations that don't have a lot of suppliers, so they will combine all suppliers in one file, no problem. There are other organizations that have so many suppliers. Make sure that you have source documents. And remember, for tax purposes, these source documents should be kept for 5 years. 5 years. So by the time we close the year 2024, let's have a place where we can be able to store these documents for 5 years for tax purposes. And you can be able to scan them. You can be able to scan them on a daily basis or a monthly basis and have a scanned copy which is saved somewhere. That is very, very important. So sometimes if I ask you for documents for January 2024, there are some of you organizations who cannot be able to provide. So have organized, organized record keeping. Separate personal and business finances. There are some of our organizations how we run our businesses. The director is the owner. They operate the business on their mobile phone, which is very dangerous. And remember, every withdrawal that you do as a director, in tax purposes, it can be termed as money you paid for yourself. So you might withdraw money from the organization to pay suppliers, to pay petty cash and others, but for tax reasons, it can be termed as money you paid yourself. So when they're operating a business, make sure that the operation of bank statement is totally separated from the owner of the business. So if you're paying for petty cash, have a check for petty cash. Don't do mobile banking. You remove here, you deposit. When you deposit money For tax purposes, KRA want to know where did you get this money from? Is it capital? Is it a customer who paid you? Then now you're depositing it. So it always raises a lot of queries. So as a director, separate yourself from the business. When it comes to expenses, if you have expenses, some of us buy food and other things from the organization, then we bring those receipts here. As in, you cannot separate the owner from the business, which is very dangerous, even when it comes to understanding bookkeeping for your organization, because you're using this money to pay for chama or to pay for what, or to pay, you cannot be able to even know at what particular point did you make a profit. And for people who have like 50 businesses all combined, or you're doing farming, then you're selling online, then you're doing brokerage, then there are some of us have 100 businesses. Sometimes you can't even tell at what time are you making profit, or is this business spending money for this one. So it's a very complex engagement. Conduct periodic financial reviews. So periodically, on a monthly basis, have a management report. A management report on a monthly basis. By now we are in February. You should have checked the management report for January. So check your profit and loss for that January and ask questions. We had planned to sell 1 million this month. Why did we sell 700 and not even 1.5? What was the problem? Ask for feedback. Understand, and then after you look, and that is the essence of having bookkeeping and having those reports, then ask yourself, in February, how do we now sell 1 million or even sell 1.5 million? Very, very important. So have that management report with the recommendations and observation. What went on? Why was the fuel cost so high? Did we have legal costs? Why did we have a lot of casuals than any other month? So that is the essence of having those documentations, because you can be able to review and the progress of the organization. Then do it on a monthly basis and on a quarterly basis. After the first quarter is 3 months, you combine one January to March and have that review and say, we've done this for quarter one. So for quarter two, what do we do and how do we enhance quarter two? Remember, for every business to grow, the owner and the organization has to be extremely intentional. And you're intentional because you are looking at your records. So the more you look at your records, the more you look at your operations and what you're doing, you're becoming very intentional and you're being able to plan for the next 3 months. The other portion that I would mention is seek professional advice, assistance. Some of you quote, we cannot be able to do those bookkeeping because we don't have capacity, or I don't have an accountant. You can outsource that service. And there are very good organizations that do bookkeeping like us. We can help you on bookkeeping, internal controls. Seek professional advice, because for your organization to grow, already you've started. Remember, this is a channel where we look at how you can start, grow. So we are on growth model and skill. For you to scale, you need to understand your financial position. So kindly outsource that service and enhance the structures within the organization. Finally, invest on training. There's nobody who, education is always out there. Even as an entrepreneur, you might not even have the accounting background, but you can take interest to learn. You cannot run an organization to greater heights and you cannot understand financial position of the organization. So that is a very practical training that you require as an entrepreneur. How can I, when Regina gives him profit and loss or gives me balance sheet, can I be able to understand it? Can I be able to ask questions and get answers? So that is very, very important. So I'm so happy for today, and I hope that you've learned something. And bookkeeping is work in progress. You cannot perfect everything. It's something that you learn every single day. And it's not something that you set static somewhere. No, you keep learning, you keep refining your reports. Make sure as an entrepreneur you have daily reports that you're able to check your sales, your purchases, how the business is doing on a daily basis. There's a system that you have created of reporting. Then on a monthly basis you can have, on a weekly basis you can have. That is how you keep enhancing your bookkeeping. And the more you understand how your business is performing, the more you gain confidence, the more you get ideas for growth. Because now you can be able even to track. This is how we even get data. You track, January I did this. Then you can be able to say, if I implement this and this, then I can be able to grow. But when you don't have this data, a lot of decision makings, you make very poor decision making. So asanteni sana, and I wish you all the best as you thrive in your business and as you push that button to keep your books very well. Thank you.